we're going to turn to an expert on Goldman Sachs, William Cohan from Fortune magazine and the New York Times. He's a longtime Wall Street insider, wrote one of the best books about the financial crisis, the award-winning bestseller House of Cards, and he's working now on a book about Goldman Sachs. So you do have all the credentials. Thanks for being with us. Take us inside Goldman Sachs today. What is their strategy? How are they going to approach this? How are they feeling about it?
Well, they're obviously set back on their heels and they're in crisis mode. But I think you can see by Lloyd Blankfein's testimony that's been released, he's trying to be conciliatory. He's trying to finally tell the American people that he's grateful for what they did. But, you know, they're in a very difficult position. I think David Brooks has it exactly right. I mean, either they have to look like they were dumb and foolish or smart and sleazy. And, you know, it just shows again that, you know, just because you can do something, George, doesn't mean you should.
And there's a key factual issue at play today. You saw the Senate Chairman Carl Levin say basically in his investigators that Goldman made more than $3 billion on these housing bets. Lloyd Blankfein and Goldman Sachs saying they lost $1 billion.
Right. So what Lloyd is doing is he's parsing. So a part of the firm, the structured products group, did in fact make close to $4 billion betting against the mortgage market. They decided to go short aggressively starting in and around December 2006, January 2007. What Lloyd is doing is he's netting it off against losses that Goldman Sachs had on the long side of their book, because, you know, they're a market maker. They both sell, package up mortgage securities and sell them, and they made, unlike other banks, a decision, vital decision, probably that saved the firm in December of 2006 to go short, so and he's netting one off against the other.
You say he's parsing. So bottom line, who's right here? The senators or Goldman Sachs?
Well, I think that they both can say they're right. That may be the beauty of it. It's sort of like a Rorschach test. People seeing it what they want. I think Carl Levin is going to be closer to being right because, in fact, I think they did make $4 billion making this short bet against the mortgage market. They also had losses. So, you know, it's going to be maybe the American people have to decide. I think that they obviously made a lot of money where other banks did not.
No question the American people are angry at the banks, and maybe at Goldman Sachs in particular. But how big a hit is this to Goldman? As I said at the top, they have been the gold standard of investment banks, and the whole idea was that they put their clients first. Is that reputation at risk?
I think the way they do business and have traditionally done business is at risk. I would argue, George, that the old Goldman Sachs, the Goldman Sachs from 15, 20 years ago, would never have put themselves in a position to be under such public scrutiny where it was so close to the line about what they did was right or not. I mean, again, just because you can do something, just because you can create a synthetic CDO, whatever that means, doesn't mean you should. And the old Goldman Sachs, I don't think, ever would have done that. They would have been focused on raising capital for their clients and providing M&A advice for their clients.
Final quick question. What's going to come out of this? Will Wall Street change the way they do business? And will Goldman settle this SEC case?
You know, I predict that after the legislation is passed, Goldman will quietly, or not so quietly, find a way to settle. Whether they'll change their way they do business, you know, why does scorpions sting, George? I don't think that there's going to be much changing going on unless you really get at the incentives for what drives Wall Street's behavior.
Okay, you end with a provocative question. Why do scorpions sting? Bill Cohan, thanks very much.
Thank you.